Okay, I can't let this week go by without talking about this game. Of course, everybody knows the Packers lost in epic proportions to another walk-off score to the Chicago Bears after the Packers pretty much self-destructed and handed the game to a Bears team that played mediocre for 58 minutes. But you know what? The Packers are just the right team to help you climb out of a hole no matter how small it is. I don't think there's any team in the NFL more capable of giving away a game like the Packers. How many times do we have to witness this team lose games like this? Games that they should have won. Even when your best defensive player out, your starting quarterback goes down, and then he's out. You still did enough to win for 58 minutes. 58 minutes, you did enough, even with your shortcomings on offense. The Bears weren't doing anything all the way up until that point. You think the defense would come into this game and struggle without Micah Parsons, but they didn't. The entire unit stepped up and played some solid football. Jeff Hafley put together a good game plan to slow down that Bears offense. And yes, they have injuries as well to their wide receivers, but still, the defense did what they had to do. Going into that game with no Micah Parsons, no Evan Williams, no Devontae Wyatt, and they still only allowed 9 points. Says more about the Bears than us, but still. And then everything just goes to crap in the last 2 minutes of this football game. But then again, it probably wouldn't have got to that point had we been doing what we were supposed to do on the opposite side of the ball. Now, I understand that Jordan Love got injured, so I'm not trying to go too hard on the offense. But still, you got to hold them accountable on their part. The Packers moved the ball up and down the field on this Bears defense. And they were in the red zone 5 times, and 5 times they came away with no touchdowns. If they scored even 1 touchdown, the game would have been over. But instead, 0. You're not going to win games this way. And the play calling down the red zone has just been abysmal these last 2 games. That's one of the biggest reasons why they lost to the Broncos and why they lost to the Bears. Not scoring when they get inside the 10. This team can win if they play their best ball, but nobody beats themselves up more than the Packers, man. And they just did it once again. They weren't outplayed. They just slipped on their own shoelaces. Time and time again. That's just what you can expect from this football team. And why it's hard to take them seriously in any given moment. You know, when they lose games like this, again, games that they should have won, and then all of a sudden they'll just find a way to lose in the most embarrassing way. I mean, that's what you get when you cheer for the Packers. I mean, this was just the NFC Championship game all over again. All over again. NFC Championship 2014. Control most of the game. And then you can't do something as simple as recover an onside kick. Allows the other team to get back into the game. Get them all and just shift the complete momentum to their side. They score a touchdown. We go into overtime and they score another touchdown on a walk-off touchdown to end the game. I mean, that's about as brutal as it gets. That's about as brutal as it gets. And I'm not really sure what they can do to really recover from this. I don't. But the bottom line is this team will never win another Lombardi trophy. And they will never be champions. Sorry, they will never be champions again when you keep coming into the season with the worst special teams unit in the NFL. Majority of their losses this season, special teams played a key role. Whether it was a block kick, missed kicks, or in this case, not catching an onside kick. Onside kicks are almost impossible to get. But hey, you try against Green Bay, you got a chance. Romeo Doubs, who has, it's like Romeo Doubs' hands are just 1 minute he has them, and the next minute his hands just completely disappear. I mean, that guy's about as inconsistent as it gets when it comes to how well he can catch the football. And all you had to do was just catch the ball. You catch the ball, the game is pretty much over. I mean, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. The way you can always count on them to blow it. The way anytime that special team takes the field, you know something's going to go wrong. All Romeo Dobbs had to do was just catch the ball and the game was over. I had faith in Malik Willis. I did. I mean, when he came in, the entire offensive game plan just completely shifted. Because Matt had to start calling plays, designed to help and design based on Malik Willis' skill set. And the Bears defense, for the most part, had no answer to it. Because Malik Willis is a lot more athletic than Jordan Love, he'll have no problem taking off and scrambling if he has to do so. So they weren't prepared for that. So I had all the faith that Malik Willis would have gotten one first down and end that football game, had Romeo Dobbs just caught the ball. So that's what you get, man. That's what you're just going to get. So whether or not they make the playoffs is almost irrelevant because they're too banged up. You know, these guys are just made of glass. They're too banged up. They have too many injuries to key players. You have the worst special teams in the NFL. And your offense can't score in the red zone. And this isn't going to cut it when you're in the playoffs and you potentially run into the Rams or the Seahawks or the 49ers. I mean, you can play that game with the Chicago Bears, but not those teams that are much better than they are. Heck, even the Panthers. I mean, you saw we already lost to them. So Matt and his boys better figure it out or you're done. As far as the season is concerned, because I'm pretty sure Matt's going to be back next year. He hasn't been offered a new contract yet, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be back next year. And honestly, the team isn't going to get any better by firing him. So I wouldn't agree with it if they was to do so. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be back next season. As far as Rich goes on the special teams, you can fire him all you want, but nothing would change. I'm telling you that right now, nothing would change. Special teams has been trashed for years, decades. I mean, take a shot every time our special teams commits a foul on a kickoff or punt. Every game there's a flag on a kickoff or punt, and you just know immediately it's going to be on us. That's just how awfully coached and undisciplined that unit is. And until that's fixed, they'll never be true Super Bowl contenders. When you can't play your best ball on all three phases, offense, defense, special teams, you're not going to be champions. I mean, the Rams, they went and did what they had to do. They fired their special teams coach. But Matt, he just believes in his boys. He believes in his boys. Just same way he believed in Joe Barry for way too long and overstayed his welcome. It's going to be the same thing pretty much with Rich. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you can blame Rich as much as you want. But in that case, that was all on Dobbs for not doing something so simple as just catching a football. So a lot of blame goes there. A lot of blame goes to Matt and the offense, not scoring in the red zone, allowing the Bears to stay in that game for way too long. I mean, had they come out of that game with a win, we've been talking about one of the best coach games that Matt LaFleur ever did. Going to losing his starting quarterback and still finding a way to win on the road in Chicago. I would have came on here celebrating just because of that, giving him his props. And I still am. I'm not trying to blame the game completely on him. I'm not. He coached the game well. But when you get down in the red zone, you got to score touchdowns. The defense, like I said, they did enough to help us win despite all their injuries on that side of the ball. Guys like Javon Bullard and defensive line, they played well. They didn't let the Bears run up and down on the field. They didn't. However, it's the secondary that's the glaring issue. You know, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with Xavier McKinney this year. I mean, he just can't catch a fly. Dropping interceptions in back-to-back games that will later end up with the offense, that opposing team's offense, scoring points. You know, Keyshawn Nixon is a guy, you just throw the ball his way when you have to have it. When you have to have a big play, you just throw the ball to Keyshawn Nixon. And he just absolutely stunk up the place the last two times the Bears had the ball, giving up those 2 touchdowns. So we already knew our cornerback unit was terrible going into the season, and how they just did absolutely nothing to address that issue. But they better address it going into next offseason. All you did was just pretty much wasted a first round pick on Golden, who has all the talent in the world, but you refuse to use him. Then they got the offensive line issues all throughout the season. They got a little better here and there, but without Zach Tom out there, they're gonna create more problems. Josh Jacobs, he's been banged up all season. Joe Love gets a concussion. You lose Parsons, you lose Tucker Kraft. Jaden Reed was out majority of the season. Christian Watson, you don't know when or if he's gonna get hurt again. Bottom line is, man, this team is a mess. This team is a mess. They're a mess, and they can't stay healthy when they need to. They can't. They just simply can't catch a break. And I'm not trying to say that to put them down, but that's the reality of it. They just can't catch a break. They can't catch a break, and it just makes life being a Packers fan just miserable, because you want to see this team win. Obviously, you want to see them get back there, but they're just still just not there, man. They're not there. They're never going to be champions again if they don't fix that special teams. And if they can't find ways to win close games like this, whether it be in the regular season or in the playoffs, it's just going to be the same thing every goddamn time. And me personally, I don't know how many times I can keep on dealing with losses like this. This one really, really, really sucks. It does, because you lose into division rival on the road in a game that you should have won at the end of the day. Just an absolute freaking epic collapse. Just as bad as that NFC Championship game. It's going to be ranked up there. It's one of the most worst losses in Packers history. It's one of the best it's one of the best wins in Bears history now. But it's definitely going to go down as one of the worst losses in Packers history. But hey, I guess they finally got us back for Aaron Rodgers breaking their hearts over a decade ago to Randall Cobb. So I guess finally they got their little get back, and again, they're going to be looking back from years from now. So, it is what it is, man. So, Packers lose. They collapse. It is what it is. The Bears, they're on top of the division. I know they got the 49ers and the Lions to end the season. We'll see how that plays out. But the Packers, if they want to be in the playoffs, they got to win their next 2 games, bottom line. If not, just call this season a wrap. And honestly, the way this team's been playing, do you really want to see them in the playoffs? I'll leave that to other people to decide. I'm out of here. Peace.